Hi everyone. Before starting the presentation, I have a question. Do you learn English as a second language? If so, have you ever felt that it's hard to pronounce certain words or sentences because of the influence of your mother tongue? If you do, we call it language interference. Mother tongue is the first language that an individual learns and uses frequently in their home and community. It is considered the primary language and plays a crucial role in shaping a person's identity. Children learn second language more easily because they are younger and less disturbed by the accents of their mother tongue. In addition, as adults develop their abilities, they can distinguish and reduce the influence of their mother tongue on L2 learning. Also, one's motivation and attitude can reflect his or her ability of acquiring the second language. An active learner will manage to deal with obstacles in their learning progress. Dialects should also be counted. For example, in southwest China, the local people cannot distinguish the two letters N and L, so it is difficult for them to learn English. Like language, they may pronounce it as language. In some countries, even where English is the official language, there are many variants that differ significantly from standard English, which can also affect the pronunciation of second language. When learning a second language, learners tend to prefer sounds that are closer to the phenomenon of their mother tongue, like the letter P in Russian and the letter T in English, or the letter S in Mandarin and the letter Z in English. Now, let's go back to the beginning question. We need to have a basic understanding of language transfer at first, which means applying linguistic features from one language to another by bilingual or multilingual speakers. When we talk about transfers, there are two kinds of them. Positive transfer can produce correct language because the first and second languages have the same structure. Moreover, sometimes the L2 learners can become more sensitive and accurate. Interference, as known as negative transfer, refers to an error because the old habitual behavior was different from the new behavior being learned. And the most influencing factors may be a lack of listening skills and articulation practice. It's true that some pronunciations in English do not exist in other languages, which can create a barrier for L2 learners. In this case, they are most likely to pronounce words inaccurately or try to replace certain words incorrectly with their mother tongue. For example, there's no related research on phonology that has been locally published which mention the presence of the sounds soft and hard th, initial and final st, half o, and schwa sounds in Italy languages. In another example, some of the consonant sounds that the Saudi EFL learners find challenging to utter are shown as the pictures. Besides, they were likely to insert extra vowels in learn, pronouncing as leering instead of learn, and against as against instead of against. In English, the shape of the mouth has a significant influence on pronunciation, especially in the case of vowels. Slight changes in the shape of the mouth can directly affect the standardization of vowel pronunciation. For instance, those vowels have a small to large mouth shape, and the lip shape changes from flat to round, from tense to loose. But the rims in Chinese do not have such a fine distinction, so students often fail to recognize the difference between like bad and bad, man and man. Variable intonation in English indicates the mood of the speaker and the emphasis of the speech. If L2 learners do not have a strong focus on intonation in their mother tongue, they will lack the skills in their L2 learning and may apply wrong intonation rules to it. For example, Chinese pronunciation is concerned with evenly distributing each sound, in which case the muscles are also in a relaxed state. This habit makes it difficult to create the rhythm of English, not to mention the alliteration and rapid sounds of English. Language learners need to specify what are the organs of articulation involved. For example, to distinguish v from b. The former needs the lower lip to be pressed against the upper teeth, and the latter with the upper lip and forms a firm contact that the airflow is completely blocked for a moment will be helpful. Besides, practicing phoneme pronunciation, training L2 learners in sound perception is vital. For example, let them hear the phonemic contrast between v and b by asking, "Is this the boat?" or "Is this the vote?" to ensure learners can distinguish these two. And these are the references that we have used in this presentation. Thanks for watching.